Hello guys, welcome back to another one. Today we have a battle played on the map called Lest. This is it right here. So straight off the bat we have 1, 2, 3 entrances. It is classified as a cityscape. And we've also got this one part at the top here as a final stand. So generally there's a big sort of drop off here. It is a 2v3, so there's going to be likely an attacker from each angle. So probably holding up at these checkpoints probably the best move. And as soon as, especially with rushing armies, if they get them through here, it's pretty much game over. And retreating up here is also not a bad move. We do have more space, so just ignore that red line. Besides that, pretty simple map, a few gaps here and there, a few buildings as well. But getting archers along here, side angles into here, and maybe spears and high armoured unit that can hold the line at the centres here and on the flanks. Besides that, from an attacking perspective, this is definitely the hardest point, and even trying to waste the defender's ammo is also a good strat. So that's pretty much for the map, pretty simple for this one. Alright guys, here we have the army comps. So starting with Rhun, played by Hammer. As the first defender, we have some Dragon Knights. Pretty typical so far. Lots of archers, crossbows, javs. More javs here. Some Scion to hold the line, some Gamps, which is I believe a pike unit. Some Axemen here, and all of these high damage units. And the elite Camul's chosen. I'm assuming these guys are in there because they can hide. I didn't actually see them in the army, but they do come into play at some point. Now to my army as the second defender, we got 2 barrows. Pretty full roster here. Good and bad trolls, couple archers, couple jabs, and just really heavy infantry. We do have a cav unit to cause some mayhem, which is what I like to do. And a javvy, not a javvy unit. Technically it might be, but the witches, they do a lot of damage as well. That's pretty much it for the defenders here. Pretty full roster, couple archers, but also a lot of infantry considering this roster here. Which is good because these armies are very high in quantity, which is what you'll see. So we have 6 archers, wardens, and the rangers as the 2 elite ones. We have 4 Gondor spears, including the 2 Citadel Guard. We have Guards of Osgiliath, an axe, and a couple Javies as well. Not much to say. These guys all have armor upgrades, I believe, so keep that in mind. Now Cardolan, and Gondor's played by Flame of Arnor. We have Cardolan played by Top. We have 3 Garrison Spearmen, the Tharbad Warhammers, which is a pretty cool unit. He's actually stacked up on an extra crossbow here, so you see, where is it? It's actually red, so it's going to cost a fair bit more for him to get that. We have 2 spears here, 3 men-at-arms, quite a fair few archers here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And these guys, wardens and some captains, so few elites and just a lot of quantity. And I think his idea here is just to use up all the ammo for all of these archers and just mass push, because these guys can hold their own in melee. Rhuduar, played by scouts. We have some pikes, 4 axes. These guys have locked morale, which is really good. 3 Rhuduar swordsmen, heap of jabs, some cav, the elite here. And these guys are all arguably elites. These are all really good units down here. These guys are also quite good. You can only get 1 of them before they stack. And a catapult to top it off. So lots of quantity, a few missiles, but a lot of quantity. So all the armies are kind of similar in their own right. A couple cav units here and there, but it should be interesting. So we'll get to the battle. Alrighty guys, the battle is just about to start. I just thought I'd go through the formations. So you got Flame out here with Gondor, sort of setting up here. And the idea here is Hammer and I are kind of just split in the middle here. I'm taking care more of this side, and he's doing this side. No purpose in particular, it's kind of just how we spawned in. So, got a cutter here against all these numbers when they eventually blob up. For my front lines here, he's got some barrows with the snaggers kind of hidden in. I kind of put the snaggers with the barrows just to... Barrows aren't the best at killing things. Neither are snaggers for that matter, but they do cause a little more damage, I believe. So, just good to mix them in together, help each other out a little bit. Got some guard on this side, trackers over here. Hopefully get some side angles there. That's about it. Very slow start so far, as Hammer's still setting up, so just waiting on him. Oh, there goes a cutter shot. Okay, officially Grace is over, it looks like. Definitely a waste of a cutter shot. I don't know if he meant to do that or not. So the first unit's pushing up. Some militia archers. Smart of him to bring up spears because we got Cav, so good move there. All of a sudden, Cardolan making its push, and this is where it begins. Not yet apparently, he's stopping. Moving up the cutter here to try and get a clean shot on these. Got the Guaflo trackers firing away. At the cutter it looks like, which is a nice target. These guys will just get chewed up here. I do end up moving them, just because they can't take the hits. Goblin trackers firing away at what? Guaflo trackers. Nice side angle here, which is very good. Beautiful, very nice. Probably won't use up too much ammo, just enough to damage them. Gondor militia archers, don't know what they're trying to shoot at. Almost a waste, really. They're just going to get destroyed. More so about wasting our ammo, I'd say. And just like, there's not much you can really do at the start. You kind of just got to do something. And scouts, slow start over here. What do we got coming up? Some Ettenmore troll hunters. Gonna get a dirty fire on these troll hunters. Back on this side, any engagement yet? Not yet. So slow start so far. Here comes that Cav, just trying to sort of toy around with Gondor here. These barrows were also hidden, which is nice. If you have any stakes, you really got to be careful with stakes on this map. It's got me too many times. Yeah, there is some stakes here. Hammer, looks like Hammer's aware of it for now. It's always like within the chaos of the fight, you forget they're there and just bang. There's a full Cav unit. Alright, got some bit of fighting over here. Very blobbed up, not a good start from Rhuduar. This is going to get chewed up. Although these axes should do some damage on this Scion, but long term they're kind of screwed considering this position. Cav's coming around. Wouldn't engage that Cav just yet, which I think he's not doing, thankfully. And I just want to see a nice angle here. Yeah. So long term these guys aren't going to make it. Waste of a Cav. He's just going to lose a Cav unit each time he runs in here. So yeah, needs to pull back. Thankfully he didn't lose a single one, but they'll drop off soon if he keeps doing that. Still quiet on this side. Start to speed it up a little bit. Now a bit of a reorganisation on this side. Massive blob. Definitely some good firing opportunities here. Reloading it looks like. No, they're glitching out a little bit. What about these guys? Now Hammer's letting them come up a fair way here. It's not as thin down here, it's a bit wider, which favours the attackers a little more, without these angles of course, because these angles are just disgusting. That's just a massive loss here. Although, okay, he's pulled them back. These Cav do get a charge. Yeah, that's deadly. Wow, that was devastating right there. They'll break any minute now. What do we got? Troll hunters. I believe they're fairly weakened. Yeah, down to 60. Look at all that crossbow damage. That is just wrong. Still very slow with Gondor. So, okay, Cardolan has engaged on this side. He's got some Farbads in the mix. I did pull back that cutter unit. And I think his goal here, Top's goal, is just to engage, have archers behind, and just slowly keep engaging and shooting at the same time. These barrows are just going to be deadly. I think that's why I got the Warhammers in there, just to help clear out these barrows. So defeat does seem certain for now. I think I do send these in pretty soon. So all of a sudden you can tell Rhuduar's engaged. Although, is that a big break there? Yeah, big break. Top's engaged with Cardolan, and Gondor hasn't engaged yet. So a little bit mistimed. It isn't terrible, it's not completely mistimed. No one's fully committed yet. But a little bit of miscoordination maybe. Whether that was their intention or not, I don't really know. But here goes the Goblin trackers. Pretty decent angle here. A few of them are hitting the dirt, but it's not really a worry. Could even send them up like that, horizontally across here, just to get a little better crossfire. Sharpshooters, let's see what these guys are going for. Probably something else. Ooh, okay. Really trying to focus out this cutter crew. Probably a mistake for me to send them out this early. They are pretty much almost dead. I think they get a shot off. Not sure, we'll see. A shot in here would be nice. Or pretty much anything blobbed up at this point. And keep in mind, my witches are over here somewhere, hidden. So they make a play near the end of the fight. Did have a Cut a shot here, but not too devastating. Oh, here comes another one. What do we got? Okay. I think with the cutter, that's kind of worth it. I don't really... You want to get probably better shots than that. As an attacker, it is a bit harder, so probably worth it there. Back on this side. Warhammers are all alone now, so probably going to die a little faster. Got some barriers kind of on their rear, causing a bit of damage. I think these guys broke, yeah, 100 unit broke. It's pretty bad. Cutter, see if these guys get a shot. Looks like that might have been a shot back there. Ooh, decent shot. These archers still really just trying to focus them down. So you do need 3 to work a cutter. So any more of these guys die, it's game over for this cutter. Shame. I don't think they'll get another volley off at this rate. Gondor still very slow. Rhuduar has slowed down a bit. So 23 to 13%. So attackers or defenders are up 10% so far, which is what you want to do as a defender. You always want to be a bit ahead. As the attacker, you can kind of, there's a little more leeway just because you've got better quantity and quality. Top has engaged a lot more here. Still 180 barrow whites. So it looks like these guys did use their ammo at some point, probably on a side angle into these. Catacrew is also gone. Comes Goblin Trackers. I believe they're out of ammo or close to it. So we've got a lot of reserves back here. Got the Cav. Trolls, Blackguard, do some dirty damage. Also at this point I also believe Rhuduar had like nothing left, but about half their army's hidden at this point, so yeah, that was a little misleading. We kind of relaxed on this side where we shouldn't have. So far Cardolan's been putting in the most engagement. Is Warhammer still in there? If they are, they're very depleted. They might have pulled out. Perhaps they're all gone. Oh, there we go, there's one. Wonder how many are left. 9 left. So that unit's pretty much gone. These barrows really helping with the front line. Got some Gundabad Guard in there as well. So this formation's really a lot more deadly now. These Gundabad Guard, I really like that unit. Some more Goblin Trackers. Looks like they're definitely out of ammo this time. Got some crossbows brought around by Hammer, which is a good move. He's got some jabbies here too. Generally when you're playing, you kind of know who you're versing. So we know Top's quite a good player, so kind of put more effort onto certain flanks. We know kind of Flame's a slower player, so which is kind of evident right here. So we're not too worried about it, especially when we got barriers just sitting here. And Scouts, probably I'd say a balanced player. Sort of saw that push and very quiet now. Not much happening. He had some ranges here, trying to sneak around, but I don't think it lasted. Maybe a volley at the most. Back over here, victory does seem certain. These guys are shaken and are now pulling back. He kind of realizes it's not the best move. Crossbow's still firing away. Yeah, the missile engagement's very sort of, not too much happening, just trading fires at this point. Like shooting into this is pretty futile, especially with barrows here. There goes the archers. Pretty much most of that attacking force is gone now. Ooh, a few cutter shots. Decent, not the best. Would have been nice on here. It's a tough shot though. It looks like Flame's a little more aggressive now. A lot more archers up here. Going for, what do we got? The mercenaries. Here comes a Cav. I think Hammer sort of realised that. Spears. They're already moving forward. So it'd be almost good. Do we have any archers here? If we had some crossbows, shooting at these spears wouldn't be a terrible idea. So really, with Cav, you can kind of be a bit sneaky. Do a rear charge even, but which is what he does here. Pretty nice. Although it's always risky. You can always bait Cav and turn around and attack them. So it's always a risk, but that worked that time. Tracker's just sitting here. I believe they might have used a little bit of ammo, but not much at all. Like Scouts, got some Rangers pushing up. So as soon as Hammer notices this, it's a good target to attack. Now, Rangers against Archers. I've heard this is a bad move, but what do we got here? Crossbows, not firing. Looks like he was trying to shoot these guys, but they're out of range now. Interesting target with the cutter. Yeah, I'd probably just leave the cutter for now. Even at that hit, it's just not worth it. I'd go for one of these, to be honest. I was also considering at this point to sally out this Gundabad Guard just to sort of cause a bit of strife here, because he is a little bit too forward here, where the rest of his army's still down here. Cardolan has slowed down for now, just using his archers. Thankfully we got the barrows sort of protecting the Gundabad Guard, which is nice. And at this point the pace of the battle has slowed down. They sort of had the initial first wave. Gondor's a little more pushing up here. It's like a decent charge in there as well. Now you do have a little bit of fighting picking up again. Some crossbows in melee. Still got the high ground. I'm expecting some support from these guys. See what kind of angle or volley they get. Got the Rangers really focusing them down. Looks like a bit of a dummy fire there, didn't really work. Gondor's still slowly creeping up. Back on this side, we've got engagement again, just kind of weak engagements here. Probably wasn't necessary to use that ammo in hindsight, but decent kills. I'd probably lay off for now, pull them back. Just enough to sort of really discourage them, get them shaken. Back down here, his forces are thinning out a little bit, so does have the captains, and I believe he's got the gate guards somewhere. Gate guard, I don't think they're in the fire yet. They'll be around somewhere. Here, I've probably got enough to match what he's got. I'm sort of slowly losing some men. Blackguard, pikes. I've also sent a fair bit of back around here. Because Gondor's still quite healthy, and he is starting to move up as well. Got the Wardens and Minus Ithil moving up, plus some spears. Now this cat has been going off for the past 5 minutes, and it really hasn't done much. So probably the smart thing to do would to change position, but Cav's gotten by. A nice charge as well. These troll hunters were in the back, could have been a little different, as they are a spear unit just to help out, but if they can get another charge here, that would be really nice. Yep, I'd turn around. I want to see this. I just want to see another charge. Should break that unit, I reckon. Very nice. Uphill, it's always a struggle with an uphill charge, but he's really got to get out of there now. He'll lose a couple units here, probably a fair few. He's really had to push through there. Yeah, that was kind of devastating, although he did wipe out a lot of those swordsmen. At this point, he should try and keep his cav relatively safe, because this noble unit, Rhuduar nobles, is going to, when they eventually do make a gap, that's when that cav's going to be annoying. So focusing jabs on the cav's also a decent move, which I was trying to do. Another failed attempt on this side, which is fine. They are thinning up our forces just a bit. I do want to say this battle, before it's over, it gets very close before we get into the end side of things. It's a very close battle. Got Mithrundiel's retinue breaking about. I do have my cav somewhere, which I think I do realise and pull over. I'll pull them around this way maybe. Now I do slowly kind of push down. I get a little bit cocky here because Cardolan doesn't have cav, so it's not really, these barriers are just alone down there. It doesn't really trouble me too much, especially with the constant uphill advantage. Now I do try to get my cav around, try and go for these archers. He kind of knows this. We play a bit of back and forth, keep sending his spears around, and these guys are wavering, so as soon as these guys break, there'll be a bit of a forward momentum. Do I go back that way? No, I retreat. Now one thing to note, a lot of the armies, where are we at now? 44 to 36. So the armies are getting quite depleted. See Gondor's really moving up here. The final phase is about to begin. Same with Cardolan, all these forces are now on the ramp. So whatever push they're going to make, it's about to happen. Rhuduar, still a lot of his units hidden. Let's have some swordsmen up here. Look at that scene, that is just brutal. Okay, the captain's going to charge in, and really a massive bunch of troops here. So pretty much all our missiles are firing away on this side. I realise he's probably going to make a big push here. So what's in here definitely isn't enough. I've got some pikes coming in. Pretty much any other units, be smart to send these guys in about now. I believe I have my witches somewhere. I do move them up pretty soon because I see that target. Hannah's bringing over his jabs. So this is kind of the moment we've been waiting for. Gondor, Rhuduar still very slow, just playing with the rangers. So we've got a big push here. Comes the raiders. Javies will get some good volleys here. Now, they're really pushing here, so it is tough. I'm going to lose a lot here. Here are the witches. I need to get them in ASAP. The trolls, just to kind of help hold the lines a bit, or push behind their lines. Decent shot there. Decent shot. Got some returning fire from the sharpshooters. Another good volley. Here comes the trolls. All the missiles are going ham now. Where are these witches? They need to move up ASAP. Blackguard. Be good to push them in there as well. Oh, got some cav charges on this side. Whoa, what happened to my Gundabad guard? Wow. Must have been the archers, because the cav couldn't have done that to the spears. Do pull them back over this way. These Dragonites really just need to keep this cav at bay for now. Alright, here comes Rhuduar. A lot more than we previously saw. All these black walls were hidden. So this is a pretty small force to keep them at bay. Be smart to send all the infantry into hold here at this point, to not let that cav pass as well. We have rangers here. Very good. Those guys are critical right now. Oh, almost missed the witcher shot. We get another one. Bit of friendly fire, but that's going to really devastate the attackers here. Cav running in. We got the trolls. It is just chaos. A couple of shots running into the cutter, but it's not really. There we go. And that really just disabled that push. And at this point, I just kind of sally out just to finish off what's left. And all of a sudden, 58 to 52, they have creeped up a fair bit. But after this part here, it'll change pretty significantly. Yeah. So really, I've just got to finish off this side as fast as possible so I can pull back and help the other stages of the fight. Gondor's finally pushed in here. Now here comes some cav. Got some pikes coming around to protect these crossbows. So the gaps have been made. This is where it really picks up. Rhuduar's still a bit behind here. Still waiting on them, but Gondor's really pushed in here. We've got the barrows as the backbone of this formation here. Spear's really trying to push through, but all these sort of random units scattered here. And we got these guys too. Devastating. Something's trying to shoot at them. Alright, here comes the cav. If the cav can get by, it can be really devastating here. There goes Cardolan's general, which I think I try to do. Yep. So that's broken. Now cav can probably run them down. Everything else needs to go back. Guardian's pushing over, which is good. Cav's finally gotten through. Here comes a Dragon Knight to try and counter them. Be smart to kind of let these guys get a volley. Ooh, do they get it? That cav charges. Come on. Yeah, pretty poor. Pretty poor. They did get a volley, but it didn't do much. Alright, here comes the remainder of my force to help out. Rhuduar, still pretty slow. I would have liked to see Rhuduar engage a lot more aggressively here, because if they moved up, they could definitely push through. They got a lot more hidden units there. Maybe he's afraid of the ranges, which is fair enough. That's probably what's keeping him at bay for now. But either way, Gondor's making a good push, considering they're kind of by themselves over here. But I just don't think it's going to last, especially with my reinforcements arriving on this side. Got the Guardians, got some trolls trying to get this cav. This cav can do work if it's used right. So it's nice to have this place cleared up for now. We do have some rangers trying to find some targets. Probably not a great target. I'd shoot for something over here. Maybe these guys would be really nice. Gondor spear surrounded. Pushing them really deep in. I don't necessarily think that's great. Okay, here comes Rhuduar. Some Blackwald's finally approaching. The hidden rangers will pick up any time now. Ooh, nice jab volley there. See if they get another. That was pretty decent. Here comes the returning jabs and the cav. There goes Gondor's general. That's pretty big. So what remains here is probably going to break. Citadel Guard on a lot of elites over on this side. 2 Citadel Guard. Jabby's got decimated here. How these guys do in melee, these elite Jabbies, not too sure. Comes the Blackguard. So I'm expecting all of this to break as soon as this gets around here. The sooner these break, the better. Barrow's still pretty healthy as well. Wardens are in melee. Must have used all their ammo at some point. Rangers. Taking out these rangers is also critical, which I think I'm doing. Maybe I want to cut these guys off as well, because these guys would return at these numbers because they're so healthy still. So if I can take out as many of these as possible, that'd be great. Rhuduar. Looks like he's made a gap here. I think the cav's gone through, yeah. So this side's definitely our weak point at this point. Although that was a decent charge. Didn't get too many kills though. Ooh, brutal charge, yeah. All these breaking units, nice. I don't think they'll return with these guys here. Back on this side, we did have the Guards of Osgiliath return. These Blackguards should hold out. Here comes a lot of returning forces, setting up the barrows. So this side has cleared up a lot more. Citadel Guard, really just trying to clean up what we can. Percentage-wise, 82 to 80, so it's still very close. Like, at this point, we have held them off, but at like what cost? Because it's very close. Especially with this cav. This cav has been devastating on this side. And all of a sudden, this side's looking very weak. I bring some trolls over just to help out a little bit, though probably a bit late. A lot of these guys are breaking. Here comes the Enslavers. Does the cav get out? Good micro. Gondor's still pretty strong. I'm trying to kind of push on the side here and cut them off. Without their general, it shouldn't last for too much longer. Comes the Barrow Whites. Barrow White's going to be key in this last stage, just because still a lot of them. These stakes. You do see us form a formation here. It's pretty soon. Low Gamp Rimp. Probably going to lose that fight. Yeah, it looks like Rhuduar's gotten the best of us on this side. Really, the remaining fight's over here. Gundabad Guard. Trying to get a rear charge. See if they get it. Looks like I'm too busy microwing. Guardians are coming in, really pushing down here. So at this point, what can the attackers do? I mean, just keep fighting, really. Maybe get a counter flank on these guys. For Rhuduar, he's won his side, so he's got to push as soon as he can back over here to help his allies. Big break here. Hopefully these Guardians can cut them off. Yeah, nice kills there. Don't think they'll return with that many. Guards of Osgiliath still shaking. Barrow's getting in there. There goes Rhune's general. So the last line's holding on this side. Just some guildsmen, really. Over on Gondor, Guards of Osgiliath have broke. So really, this is what remains. And our idea with the cav, we kind of just we end up like making a formation along the stakes. So we have our spears front here, infantry in the middle to stop charges from the rear because of these stakes. So it ends up being quite a nice formation. Okay, rest of these guys done as well. Really, we're kind of just sizing each other up at this point. 91 to 90. So very close. So here begins the final phase. Got our spears setting up here. We've got one Dragon Knight left. General wise, I think I've still got my general. Might have seen Hammer's general disappear just then. I forget now. Here comes their barrows. They're really going to help out here, just because there's so many of them. Guardians. Do I have Gundabad Guard? Gundabad Guard over here as well. Blackguard. Trying to get them just right up next to these stakes. We're also hoping they have 0 ammo left. We're kind of counting on that, because if they have ammo left, we're kind of going to get destroyed. Volley on these Blackguard and on this area here could be devastating. So I think putting our barrows in front is what we're trying to do. Oh, bit of a charge. And here begins the final engagement. Okay, they're out of ammo, which is good to see. So you can hear the advisor speaking now, saying the battle is in our favour. Always reassuring to hear that, but still very close. I think Angmar's units and Rhune's units combined are probably not going to be enough for the attackers here. If you look around, that's pretty much it. Nothing else remains. So yeah, Barrow's coming in. Just this Cav unit really. Just trying to get a rear charge here. I think the nobles are dead as well. I think he's gone for the barrows. It's probably his best target. Got his enslavers in here. That's probably his best hope, so we're trying to get them out of the way. The battle's continuing on here. The Cav hasn't really done much thus far. Still very even. Like, this line's not weak, at least not yet. Probably with the Guardians and Blackguard, it's probably going to be too much. One Gamp pulling out to cover the rear. Is Cav doing? Cav pulls back again. Really going to be careful of those stakes too. Just trying to push your barrows in. And just like that, guys, it's looking very weak for Rhuduar right now. There goes the general. I believe that's Rhuduar's general. Yeah, Rhuduar's general. And that'll pretty much cause the rest of these guys to rout. And this Cav's still going as the Guardians chasing down what remains. And that's pretty much game. So in terms of a debrief, very close battle. I don't really know what to say. It was just a very... Attackers probably miscoordinated at certain points. Cardolan pushed probably too early. If they had done it at the same time as Gondor and stopped the reinforcements from the other side from coming over, would have been a lot different. And that's pretty much it. Close game. Props go to all players, and I'll see you in the next one.